And I came to the realization that this world is nothing like we thought it was. And I also came to realize that the world is not controlled and run by the people and the institutions that we're told it is. The truth is very, very different. In actual fact, there are various organizations and groups working through secret society networks that over a vast period of time have come to control and manipulate pretty much every aspect of daily human life. And that absolutely includes the entertainment industry. So in all these cases, we have the control system that is running the show when it comes to the music industry, placing their little calling cards and their little clues in plain sight. They're letting you know who owns these artists, because their asses are owned, lock, stock and barrel. And there's a phrase that you often hear, which is, they've sold their souls for fame and fortune. And I would suggest that rather than that being a myth or a convenient kind of quip or phrase, there is a lot of truth to that statement.
You know what I'm saying? BET, they had a nigga about to perform up there, whatever. But under the circumstances of me performing, I couldn't fuck with that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because they was trying to get a nigga to do some off-brand corner shit. Free band, gang. I'm just not about to sell my soul for no red carpet, no publicity stuff. Yeah.
Aleister Crowley, considered to be the chief Satanist of the 20th century, wrote of the best way to practice becoming possessed in his book Magic in Theory and Practice. Crowley writes, there are three main methods for invoking any deity. The third method is the dramatic, perhaps the most attractive of all. Certainly it is so to the artist's temperament, for it appeals to his imagination through his aesthetic sense. He goes on to explain the dramatic method. And the third method, identity is attained by sympathy. It is very difficult for the ordinary man to lose himself completely in the subject of a play. But for those who can do so, this method is unquestionably the best. The foremost Satanists taught that the best way to experience demonic possession was to act in a play, or in our day's terms, a movie. Konstantin Stanislavski, considered by many to be the father of several modern acting techniques, including the method, resurrected many of these ancient ideas and has initiated countless actors and actresses over the last 100 years into these occult ideologies. Stanislavski stated that 9/10 of acting a role out was based on a spiritual experience in which the actor was to be transformed into someone else.
I am God.
I am God. I am God. I am God.
I am God.
We're in the very throes of a new satanic age. The evidence is all around us. All we have to do is look at it.
After the Church of Satan was established, Anton LaVey opened a film office where he could instruct and guide popular filmmakers. LaVey specifically targeted Hollywood to become his primary means for satanic evangelism. Quick to participate, many celebrities were devout, outspoken supporters for the Church of Satan and its causes. Kim Novak, Jane Mansfield, Tina Louise, and Sammy Davis Jr. are a few who openly lent their fame to the satanic agenda in the 1960s.
We are superior by the imagination, the creativity that is the heart and the very soul of the Satanist.
Anton LaVey praised the work that celebrities have done for Satan's kingdom.
You've got quite a legacy of satanic writers, film producers, and directors who have made their own pacts. They've proven themselves to be cunning, wit, and courage beyond the best of their time.
These people that have sold their souls for fame, power, and fortune are being used to push the New Age philosophies, or as what Anton LaVey refers to as the new satanic religion. Sammy Davis Jr. was a notable actor in Hollywood and most well known for his then risque Rat Pack shows. Anton LaVey declared Sammy Davis Jr. was a dear friend and often put himself on the line when it was professionally hazardous to do so. He brought many influential persons into the Church of Satan and shared his own personal life with me. He was a sensitive, articulate, and very satanic individual. During his Rat Pack shows, Davis would use the stage as a podium to plug psychics and praise the mysterious messages he received through them from the other side. Another actress of the 1960s was Jane Mansfield. She also enveloped herself in witchcraft and black magic and was escalated to the position of high priestess within the Church of Witchcraft and Black Magic and was escalated to the position of high priestess within the Church of Satan. More than anything else, Mansfield wanted success as a movie star. LaVey recalled telling Mansfield that her dreams were attainable through satanic power. The devil has supreme power on this earth, he said. If you want anything here, the devil can give it to you if you join him. Mansfield became one of the most popular and talked about actresses of the 1950s and 1960s. Her movies were replete with risque sex and immorality for her day.
I wasn't a stranger to permitting my bust to be photographed. I had already done that. Here's the Playboy issue, which shows the movie I was in, Promises, Promises. It showed just about everything that Jane Mansfield had to show.
Mansfield sold out to the principles of the Satanic Bible and expressed them in her films. LaVey says Jane was very proud of the fact that if she liked something enough, she would commit it to memory. At the time, the Satanic Bible was still in monograph form. Jane had pored over those pages until she knew most of it by heart.
Beyonce is the hottest artist on the world stage in 2013. She followed up her lip-syncing scandal at President Barack Obama's inauguration with a spellbinding performance at the 2013 Super Bowl. During Beyonce's Super Bowl appearance, the Twitter universe lit up with people claiming that Beyonce was flashing the Illuminati or Devil's Triangle. The concern was so great that mainstream media outlets tried to explain it away as simply a reference to her husband Jay-Z's record company. Of course, this simplistic approach ignored the fact that Jay-Z and Beyonce are aware that the symbol has a layered meaning and occultic or Luciferian connotations. In fact, they are not only aware of this, but as you can see, Beyonce's husband Jay-Z promotes the occult aspect of the Eye of Horus and the triangle through his rock-aware apparel. Sadly, countless young people are wearing the Eye of Horus and have been introduced to the darkest of occult symbology through Jay-Z and his rock-aware empire. Here we see a shot of a ritual of the Order of the Temple of Astarte, a chartered Crowleyan organization which admittedly contacts demons in their rituals using the same symbol that Jay-Z, Beyonce, and so many others are using. Here we also see Satanist Anton LaVey, who wrote the Satanic Bible and started the Church of Satan, using the Eye of Horus or the triangle symbol in his satanic rituals. Here we see Satanist Aleister Crowley, who promoted the sacrifice of innocent children and who signed his name the Beast 666, wearing the Eye of Horus in the triangle, one of the main symbols for the Age of Horus and the coming reign of Antichrist. Crowley's favorite Antichrist maxim was, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." Do what thou wilt as opposed to doing God's will became the backbone of Crowleyanity. Here we see Jay-Z with "Do what thou wilt" emblazoned across one of his shirts. Notice also next to Aleister Crowley is a book with a circle and a pentagram on the front cover. One of the most basic symbols used in the occult and Satanism to contact demonic beings as a sphere of receptivity to Satan and demonic forces, often resulting in demonic possession. Jay-Z, Beyonce's husband, knows what it means to be possessed by spirits, as he admits here, claiming that he is a modern-day Frank Sinatra and that he is possessed by spirits.
I feel like, Sinatra
in my time, modern day Sinatra, so, I try to live up to that, I get possessed by the spirits. I get possessed by the spirits.
When we understand how the circle and pentagram are used at times in the occult and Satanism and take a closer look at Beyonce's Super Bowl performance, it becomes even more chilling. Near the beginning of her performance, we see Beyonce fall to the ground into what becomes a circle of light. It's interesting that after Beyonce lies down in the circle, we then see appear an inverted pentagram. The inverted pentagram in Satanism often signifies the goat-headed depiction of Satan himself. And here we see Beyonce with the inverted pentagram with the goat-headed Baphomet when she introduced the spirit of Sasha Fierce, who she claimed possessed her. Here we see the goat-headed satanic Baphomet on Beyonce's ring. And here we see at Beyonce's Super Bowl appearance, one of her dancers adorned with an upside-down pentagram worked into her apparel. Beyonce, entering the circle with the inverted pentagram, appears to be her way of signaling that she's allowing the spirit named Sasha Fierce, the entity that she claimed possesses her and channels her during performances, to take control of her body. Beyonce has even worked Sasha Fierce into her wardrobe. The Daily Mail described her Super Bowl outfit as, quote, fierce and sexy, which was fitting for the entity Sasha Fierce. The man behind the design, Ruben Singer, says his creation of Beyonce was inspired by female warrior gods in Norse mythology. Incredibly, you can see what appears to be the goat-headed satanic Baphomet worked into Beyonce's bizarre attire. Later in Beyonce's Super Bowl performance, we see Beyonce represented by the Hindu goddess Kali. Kali is often associated with darkness and death and depicted with the bloody heads on a necklace of her slain. Kali is a fitting image for Sasha Fierce, as she is a counterpart of Shiva, the god of destruction. Beyonce also employs the Gemini twins, seen taking up a huge part of the stage. In Babylonian mythology, the Gemini twins represented, quote, the god of plague and pestilence, who was king of the underworld, end quote. It may be that what Beyonce is depicting in the Gemini symbols, which resemble her, is a spiritual synthesis with Sasha Fierce, which would signify full-blown demonic possession. Beyonce has admitted in the past that she looked forward to the time when her and Sasha Fierce would be indistinguishable. Beyonce has expressed her desire to communicate the vibe of spirit possession in her music. She claims that she even wants a whole video to feel possessed.
I want to be so wild, almost possessed. And I want the whole video to feel possessed. I want the whole video to feel possessed.
Beyonce may have found more than she bargained for and ended up getting possessed by a spirit. Rolling Stone stated in one article on Beyonce, quote, a woman possessed, Beyonce is gripped by a spirit so powerful it even has a name, Sasha, end quote. Beyonce said in an extra interview, quote, I think Sasha Fierce is part of me. That's why the name of the album was I Am Sasha Fierce. She goes on to say, she lives within me.
I think Sasha Fierce is a part of me. That's why the name of the album was I Am Sasha Fierce, because it's all the same. She lives within.
Beyonce claims that she is typically more reserved and cannot sing with as much power, but when this spirit entity possessed her body, it energized her vocal ability and caused her performances to skyrocket.
I'm really kind of shy, and not really shy, but more reserved, and nothing like Sasha. But I guess I wouldn't be very entertaining on the stage, so Sasha comes out, and she's fearless. You know, she can do things that I cannot do when I'm in rehearsal. I mean, I can try, but then it just doesn't happen. I can sing notes and sing strong and do all these things that when I'm just by myself, I can't do. And I remember right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me,
Strangely, Beyonce in the past has depicted herself on stage as picking up a coin with the image of her face on one side and the image of Sasha Fierce on the other. When flipping the coin, if it comes up Sasha Fierce, she then allows the spirit entity of Sasha to take control of her body. Beyonce appears to be possessed by an evil and perverted spirit of harlotry. Apparently, the spirit entity Sasha Fierce leads her into perverse and raunchy sexual behavior that Beyonce would never do if not under Sasha Fierce's diabolical influence. Beyonce has admitted, quote, when I see a video of myself on stage or TV, I'm like, who is that girl? That's not me. I wouldn't dare do that. And I wouldn't like Sasha if I met her off stage, end quote. This demonic entity is more than some alter ego, but a spirit that possesses Beyonce's body. In fact, Beyonce seems to black out and be unconscious of her body when this evil spirit takes control. She describes it this way, quote, "I have out-of-body experiences. If I cut my leg, if I fall, I don't even feel it. I'm so fearless. I'm not aware of my face or my body," end quote. Beyonce says, quote, "It's like a blackout. When I'm on stage, I don't know what the blank happens. I am gone," end quote. She has said recently, quote, "I'm more powerful than my mind can even digest and understand," end quote. Notice in Beyonce's Super Bowl appearance that as she's emerging from the circle with the inverted pentagram, her face becomes distorted, as though she has now given her body over to the spirit she identified elsewhere as Sasha Fierce. Here we see that the normally sweet-appearing Beyonce now looks like a different person, more like a man than a woman. Throughout the rest of her Super Bowl performance, Sasha Fierce's mean man face will appear as much as Beyonce's. Beyonce has admitted that this spirit is not a friendly spirit, hence the name Fierce. Of course, God's Word, the Bible, reveals that when it comes to fallen angels, only demonic entities possess human beings. From the time she enters the circle with the pentagram, Beyonce's face morphs repeatedly into a demonic and evil sneer. So horrific were many of the faces that Beyonce manifested that her publicists told BuzzFeed that they wanted them to remove pictures that they considered unflattering to Beyonce, some of which you are seeing here.
And of course, Rihanna is in the building.
Hey, Angie.
I cannot believe it's been so long that we have done this.
You know, I am misunderstood a lot at times. My music, my image, people have their whole thing about me, whether it be me being a devil worshiper or whatever. Besides them reading into my hand over my eye on my album cover.
Why is your hand over your eye on your album?
Because I'm a devil worshiper. What are you talking about?
I had to ask some friends because I was hearing a lot about her, and so they told me, you know, who she was and what she was doing. And I come from the school of thought there's just some things that the public just shouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like things that happen between two people, a wife and a husband, girl. I just don't think that it's for mass consumption. I just have always felt that way, and I just think that the whole idea of celebrity and fame has become really convoluted and, you know, kind of bastardized. Like whereas fame used to be the byproduct of success, and now it's the ultimate goal. And if your ultimate goal is to be famous, then you're gonna do a lot to get there. Like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil. Like you're gonna end up on a one-way street, and it's going nowhere. Like that's just the truth. I've seen so many people like forsake their moral code and their value systems just for a little bit of fame, and it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's really not worth it.
I'm not particularly cool with some of these brothers' lifestyle, but nonetheless, they're my brothers. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We have to look at Damon Dash. We have to look at Suge Knight. We have to look at Irv Gotti. And we have to look at Jay Prince. These four gentlemen that got together and was going to put up $30 million apiece to get and create their own distribution company to distribute black music. These people got together and said, we'll never let it happen. It'll happen over our dead bodies. All in 1 week, I'm telling you the short version of the story. All in 1 week, they raided the offices of these four brothers. I'm going to say them again. Damon Dash, Suge Knight, Irv Gotti, and Jay Prince out of Texas. The FBI raided their offices and confiscated their records and started piecing together cases against these brothers. And you know Damon Dash's situation. He's back with Jay-Z after they took Rockefeller from him, made Jay-Z the president, bought it for $27 million, I think, turned around and sold it for like $270 million. And they moved him right on out of the picture. And now I heard through the African grapevine that he's back with Jay-Z broke. You understand what I'm saying?
Damn.
Suge Knight, you already know his story.
Yeah.
You understand? Went through some court cases, ends up having a white Jewish woman, the owner now of everything that Death Row had put out. And I think she bought it for $22 million. No, $25 million. Ain't that something?
25.
She owns the entire catalog. I'm going to have to get this woman's name so I can put it in my records. Irv Gotti, him and his brother was brought up on charges, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Several years ago. And his thing was publicized because they raided his offices. and try to connect them to some mob ties and some drug dealing and that kind of thing. Thanks to your man, 50 Cent. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then Rap-A-Lot owner Jay Prince, who they connected to embezzling money and fraud and laundering money, this kind of thing. But Jay-Z was privy to this information, and Jay-Z was one of the ones that took it back to them. So what did they do? They bought Jay-Z off, to tell the short version of the story. And each one of these individuals had to make a blood sacrifice. So let's take a closer look at this. Who did Damon Dash sacrifice? He sacrificed his fiance. Who was he engaged to at the time? Aaliyah, who died in a plane crash. Who did Suge Knight sacrifice? Tupac. Who Irv Gotti was supposed to sacrifice, but it didn't happen? Ashanti. She broke away from the camp, and now she's doing well. But that was his blood sacrifice. Are you following me?
Yes, sir. Teach.
So Rap-A-Lot's Jay Prince was heard through the African grapevine that he had inked a deal with the brother Pimp C. And if you can remember, Pimp C went live before he died. And he started blasting people, calling people homosexuals and this kind of thing, and he was calling people out. Shortly after that, they found him dead in a hotel. Overdose. When you want to operate in that $20 million club and higher, $100 million club where these brothers were operating in, you got to pay the price. You got to bond yourself to these people forever. Let's look at some of the other people that have bonded themselves to this demonic energy. When Kanye West wanted to be up in that space so bad, he signed the oath, took the oath rather, and signed on, became a Mason and took the oath, wrote Lucifer, Son of the Morning, for Jay-Z, and that was his initiation, and sure enough, he lost his mom. Jennifer Hudson wanted to be up in that space. Yep, her family got taken at it on some ritual killings. Are you following me? So we need to understand this particular thing. You're not going to operate up into the $50, $100 million club and you not pay the ultimate price now. Not the ultimate price, but make a blood sacrifice. Jay-Z was well aware of all of this. So they paid him off. How did they pay him off? They gave him Rockaware. They gave him Rockefeller Records, Rock Nation, Jay-Z Inc. Scion made a deal with him. Then the New Jersey Nets, he owns part of that. J Hotels, 4040 Club. I can go on and on, bro. And this is happening right before our eyes, man. So they niggerized the music. As soon as Jay-Z got made, he was made president of Def Jam. Guess who he signed? Two known drug dealers, Young Jeezy and Rick Ross, who's going to perpetuate and carry on the madness and the negative demonic frequency. Are you following me?
Rock music producer Phil Spector was convicted Monday of second-degree murder in the shooting death of actress Lana Clarkson at his mansion 6 years ago. The 40-year-old Clarkson, star of the 1985 cult film Barbarian Queen, died of a gunshot fired in her mouth as she sat in the foyer of Spector's mansion.
So let me ask you this about the house situation with your house getting burnt down. Do you think the Illuminati has something to do with that, to try to send you a message to try to quiet you? Or
well, this is something I've never really said on film. I've said it on film, but I have that particular tape locked away in my safe behind my desk, and no one has ever heard me say this. But I think it's time that we kind of get this out in the open. That, you know, on the Occult Science Radio interview and World Star and some other interviews that I've done, I've actually talked about the blood and the human sacrifice. Well, I'm going to look right in the camera and say this. I was supposed to be that blood human sacrifice for Public Enemy, but I survived it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And since I survived it and I'm talking about it now it's imperative that these people silence me. Plain and simple. I've told you about people that I had to deal with right in front of my door right here. Do you understand what I'm saying? I tell people, look, when you call me, know that this conversation is being listened to. Plain and simple. I can't tell you how many times my MySpace, Facebook, email accounts, websites get shut down. You understand what I'm saying? I know they listening. You understand what I'm saying? To a degree, I know these days are numbered for me. You understand what I'm saying? But I have to do what I have to do because I know they got to do what they have to do. My house burning down, that wasn't no accident. That wasn't no accident. But see, I'm not tied to the material. You know, this is where I do photography and make music in here, and I ain't skip a step. And I really appreciate all the people like, you know, y'all's people stepping up. You know, brothers was just putting money in my hand when they see me in the street. They was going online and going to PayPal and putting money in my account to make sure that I stayed alive. And the people actually stepped up, man. And if I wouldn't be if it wasn't for the people.
Yeah, because the people are waking up. They're getting aware
exactly.
now.
And you know what they said themselves? That Professor Griff, man, but I may not agree with everything he got to say or the way he say it, but hey, man, that brother's a soldier. And if they came at that brother like that to silence him like that, I gotta support the brother. I mean, $5, I ain't gonna miss that. You understand? So people were giving me used books. I had 3,000 books, man. All my books couldn't even fit in these 3 rooms.
That's real.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I had a DVD library that'll blow your mind. And to come home, I wasn't even in town at the time. To come home and look at the shell of my house, I'm like, God damn. So I'm walking in, you know, with a wet t-shirt over my mouth. I'm going through, see if I could salvage some things. It was like critical. And then for the insurance company to fight me tooth and nail. Even down to the lawyers, man, just probably paid off.
So have they ever tried to approach you, though, and try to get you in with you knowing so much? I'm pretty sure that, has anybody ever tried to approach you to get you into this so-called...
Let me tell you what your man Hustle Simmons said to me. I'm at the Million Man March, or the Million More Movement, I think it was the one after that. Behind stage, dignitaries and all the important people were there. So I'm talking to Russell, and I'm like, look, man, did that whole Jewish thing affect your life like it did me? He says, man, all you had to do was make a hit record, and that would have been that. Or basically, in other words, all you had to do was come on in. Basically, you understand what I'm saying? Chill the fuck out. We would hit you off, just kind of like, everything would have been cool. You mean to tell me all this time my life has been ruined? I've been poisoned, shot at, house burned down, all kicked out of Public Enemy, all this shit, and you tell me in a fucking fleeing moment behind stage somewhere that all I had to do was make a hit record? Oh, damn. That goes to show y'all, man. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. You understand what I'm saying? Right now I'm feeling like Tupac. They don't give a fuck about us,
man. They
man.
killed that brother, man. That brother, hey, that brother was on something.
You got to question Quincy Jones about